And so the object of their bullying was me. And so they would, one of the things they would do, they would come up and punch me in the arm as hard as they could, right here. And it would bunch up, it would get sore and bunch up, and then they would take their pens and pencils and they would stab me with that. One time I had to go to the nurse's office because they had punctured my skin with pencils and pens, so I had to go ahead and have it treated. So finally, I'd had enough. And so when George was in his locker next to mine, I gave him with my elbow into his ribs really hard. And he was all flustered, it surprised him, and he started to fight with me, but that ended it. That was the last time he bullied me on there. So, even though I had to stand up to my own, it would have been nice if I'd had someone else that would come and have stood with me. I might have taken him on earlier than I did on there. So, I think we've all had those experiences. And so they started out with this question. I want you to think about if this experience relates to you. When have you been a winner despite the odds being stacked against you? When the odds were against you and you still came out ahead or a winner. All
my life. But in particular, when the odds were stacked against me, with 20 years standing before me, and in God, it's just everything came out good. Well, I found Christ. I found him to be my personal Savior. I found him, he said I was there to study instead of being incarcerated. I speak to study his word, to go to college with Jesus, to learn about him, to build that personal relationship. And the odds was against me when he brought me out. And a 6 foot, I had a cellmate who was 6'6", 7.
Wow.
And he was in for killing the cab driver.
Wow.
And I said something to him one night, and he was jumped up at me like we were going to get into it, but I called myself being ready. But then everybody said, Lewis, you all right? God called out all them guys in the cell all around them who locked in the cell.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They was letting me know, are you all right?
Yeah. Yeah. And the guy backed off. Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't worry about him because I had confidence.
Yeah, and it's great to hear, personal testimonies and stories like that, how God protects us even and helps us when we're opposed, even when it looks like everything is stacked against us, and yet God brings us through. So, I think all of you, I'm sure, have experiences like that on there. We all face opposition in life. None of us. I'm thinking we can't avoid it. Unless you live in a bubble somewhere, unless you move out in the middle of the Rocky Mountains where there's no neighbors within, 60 miles, we're all going to face opposition. Jesus, look at all the opposition Jesus faced. Moses. I'm thinking every single